Have you ever wondered why some people accomplish so much but make it seem effortless? Think of somebody like Elon Musk, right? He runs like 5 businesses, doing things that have never been done. And he seems like he has times to tweet all the time. Now, how does he do it? Well, the obvious answer is he's not. He's paying other people to do things for him while he is taking the credit. Now, this is Law 7 of the 48 Laws of Power. And stick around because I want to teach you about this. It will make you exponentially more effective and more influential. If you don't know who I am, my name is Nick. I run the channel No BS Philosophy, where I talk about self-development, game, fitness, discipline, mindset, these sorts of things that will help you level up, get ahead of the competition so you can finally have meaning and satisfaction in your life. Now, Law 7, getting other people to do the work for you while you take the credit, might sound manipulative, but I want you to stick with me for a little bit because this is so instrumental in the modern world. Basically, anybody who is successful today applies this principle. Think of any CEO of a modern company. Think of Jeff Bezos, for example. He's not delivering packages to you. He's not stocking warehouses. Instead, what does he do? Well, he has the vision. He has the ability to organize other people to a common goal. And again, when we look underneath the surface, this is the driving principle of just about every facet of the modern economy. And the same thing, if we were to look at any great leader in modern history, we can ask the same thing. Did they build the empires themselves brick by brick? Did they conquer all the land by themselves? No, of course not. Were they fighting the battles? No. But they understood something very crucial. Real power is not doing everything yourself. Real power is about leveraging the effort, time, and abilities of other people. So for example, Steve Jobs, he's not coding the software for Apple. He's not designing the iPhones himself in every little detail. Instead, he finds the best people, the talent, and he gives them direction. He says, this is what we need to accomplish. I will consult you, but I need you to be on point. And he holds people to that high standard, getting the best work out of them. To understand this better, imagine that you're building a house. There are really 2 ways to go about this. You can do the amateur's way, where you design the blueprint yourself, procure all the materials, start hammering things together, you lay the foundation, you do all the detail finishing touches work, and you're going to have maybe a house, but it's not going to be that great. You're going to encounter a lot of problems that you're going to have to solve yourself, and you just simply don't have the expertise to do all these different things. That's one way. The second way is the master's way. That's where you hire contractors. It's where you hire people who know what they're doing, who have specialization and expertise at different things. Now, if you take these 2 approaches, which one do you think is going to result in a better house faster? Obviously, it is the second one. Now, to master this law, you need to keep in mind 3 principles of delegation. First, you need to select the right people. Now think of yourself like a movie director, right? Your job isn't to read the lines. You're not playing all the roles and the characters. Instead, your job is to find the right people to play the characters. Your job is to give them a common direction. You are calling the shots, but other people are playing the roles. This is you whenever you are delegating and finding tasks for people to do in your vision. The second principle is to maintain control without micromanaging. Now, this is where a lot of people mess up, right? They try to control every little detail without giving people the latitude and the freedom to do what they do best. Now, when you micromanage, you end up stifling any sort of initiative, any sort of innovation, and you end up burning people out and burning yourself out while getting less than stellar results. You need to have balance. Think of it like you're holding a bird. This is your project. Now, if you squeeze too tight, you're going to suffocate the bird. If you let it too loose, the bird is going to fly away. You're going to lose complete control. You need to be somewhere in the middle, like a firm, nice hold where the bird still has room to move it a little bit, to breathe, and it still is staying alive. That's the same thing with your project. You have control over it, but you're not suffocating the initiative of the people who are working for you. Now, lastly is the art of credit management. Now, this is delicate because you do need to give people credit. You need to acknowledge contributions, but ultimately you need to take ownership of the success. It's a little bit like being the host of a dinner party, right? You didn't cook the food yourself, you got caterers, you didn't set everything up yourself, you had decorators, and you didn't hand deliver the food yourself, you had waiters. But at the end of the night, everyone is thanking you for the wonderful evening. And of course, you acknowledge the efforts of others, but you're the focus of the praise. Now, here's something that's a little bit counterintuitive, because the more that you allow other people to contribute, the more successful you become. Now, just think about it, because whenever you do everything yourself, you're limited by your own time, your own expertise, and your own energy. But whenever you leverage the abilities of others, you multiply the effect that you can have. You know, it's like trying to move a boulder up a hill. Yeah, you can sit there and you can push it yourself of your own bodily energy, or you can set up a system of levers and pulleys, and by that means you can get it up a lot faster with a lot less effort. Now, utilizing the energies of others is the same way. It's the leverage that you utilize to get more done more effectively. It allows you to do things that you wouldn't be able to do alone. Now, there are some common mistakes that you have to avoid. The first is being a control freak. Again, it's the micromanagement. You don't want to be like the basketball player who's constantly hogging the ball, trying to make the shot every chance they can and never passing it to other people. Yeah, you will score a few points that way, but there's a good chance you're going to cause your team to lose. Don't do that. Secondly is the credit oversharer. This is like a king that keeps on telling everybody that it's really the ministers and the advisors that are running the show. Now, eventually the people around you are going to start to wonder, hey, why do we need a king at all? Let's get rid of this guy. They're going to inflate their own importance and they'll take control and fuck up everything. Don't do that. The last mistake is the obvious manipulator. This is like a magician who tells you how they do the tricks. Once they do that, the magic is gone. People's curiosity dwindles away and the crowd disappears. Same thing, when people know that you're just taking advantage of them so that you get the most, then people stop wanting to contribute. So here's how to apply this law in the most effective way possible. First, you need to build your network. You need to find people who complement you. Figure out what you want to accomplish, figure out what tasks need to be done to accomplish that, and decide what skills you need to accomplish those tasks. Then hire accordingly. Importantly, you need to start cultivating relationships now, not necessarily when you need them. Again, by the time you're thirsty, it's too late to start digging a well. So it's important to create opportunities for mutual benefit, right? Give people clear incentives to work with you. Keep in mind that people are self-interested. They're focused on what's in it for me. So you need to give them a reason to line up with your vision. Make it win-win for them as well, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. Next, perfect your leadership style. Learn to inspire people instead of just commanding them. Now, people love to have a cause to get behind. They like to feel like they're contributing to something greater than themselves. And they often thrive whenever they have high standards to live up to. So you need to develop your vision sharing capabilities. Don't be afraid to let people know exactly what you want to accomplish over the long term, but most importantly, learn to speak and behave in a way that commands respect and garners influence. It's a subtle art, but you need to develop a style of leadership that makes people want to be influenced by you. Now, it's like being a coach of a basketball team. You want to bring out the best of the team members, giving them encouragement and advice and allowing them to do what they can to help the team win. Lastly, you need to control the narrative. Now, document your role as the driving force. Give others the opportunity to see you as that key person. Share credit, but do it strategically, not completely. Keep morale up by giving praise on specific tasks that get done, but always position yourself as the orchestrator of success. Now let's just keep this practical for a second. Imagine that you are leading a project at work. Now you could try to do everything yourself, but it's much better to delegate, right? Delegate tasks to team members who excel in specific areas, guide the overall direction while letting those people handle the details, and ensure that your role as the project leader is known and documented to all. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, oh, this sounds very manipulative. I don't want to be that guy. But here's the truth. Whenever you do it right, this law creates win-win situations. Even when you get public credit, other people benefit from your success. Think of it like a rising tide, right? It lifts all boats. And most importantly, the people around you, they gain as well. They gain experience, they develop their skills, and they benefit from their proximity to success. Probably most importantly and most nuanced is practicing strategic humility. Now, sometimes it's very important to share credit, and it's very important to admit mistakes. But you should do this after your competency has already been demonstrated. By doing this, you will give people a little bit more of a human side to you. They'll find you more relatable and actually more influential. But as with everything, the dosage is key. So you definitely want to take credit for the successes while praising those who helped. And even when there were problems, take some of the blame, but also don't take it all. So remember, power is not about doing everything yourself. It's about being the force that gets things done. You want to find yourself accomplishing more by doing less, all while building more influence and authority. Think of yourself like the electricity running through a machine. You're not any single component, but you're the force that makes the components work. Now, if you found this valuable, make sure to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Also, if you subscribe to my Substack, you can get my full actionable summary of the 48 Laws of Power. The link is in the description. Also, you can find me on all social media platforms at No BS Philosophy. I put out content that helps you develop God-tier acuity in terms of social situations, discipline, mindset, and more. So until next time, stay strategic.